What's going on, guys? It's your host, Diamond Dan, back again with another one. Now, in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Bengals' second-round pick, Tee Higgins. All right, now, we're going to be breaking down Tee Higgins' fantasy football outlook for the 2020 season. All right, guys, let's go. Now, Tee Higgins, in my opinion, is one of the most biggest athletics receivers in this 2020 draft. All right. Now, Higgins stands over 6'4" and is one of the best jump ball specialists in the country. Now, last year, Higgins led the NCAA in receptions that are for 20 yards or more, which just shows Higgins is one of the best deep ball threats in the country. All right. Now, Higgins showed numerous times throughout his college career that he's one of the best receivers in the country, no matter the situation. Now, people last year and now, they still compare Justin Jefferson to Tee Higgins a lot, all right? And don't get me wrong, they're very similar in a lot of ways. But Higgins actually is 2 inches taller than Jefferson. And with his size, Higgins showed that he also has some of the best body control and ball skills in the country, all right? Now, with that being said, and special as Higgins is, he needs to still continue to work on his route tree at the next level, right? Something he definitely needs to get better at. Because as good as he was as catching the impossible catches last year in college, at the NFL level, the cornerbacks are bullies, all right? And Higgins always wins the jump ball, don't get me wrong, but in the NFL, he's going to have to be a lot more physical at the point of attack, and he's going to have to really work on his route tree, or, again, he won't be successful. All right, now, Higgins was the 7th best receiver overall rated in the 2020 draft according to NFL scouts. Now, I personally had him at number 5 overall, okay? But all good, all right? Everyone has their opinions. Now, with that being said, Higgins, like we talked about previously, is going to be a touchdown machine at the next level with Joe Burrow, especially with Joe Burrow throwing to him, all right? When you got the next Tom Brady throwing to you, you're going to get some touchdowns, all right? So Higgins is going to be in a good situation. But the only thing is, unlike Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, Brandon Ayuk that we talked about in previous videos, etc., Higgins is going to a team that is already loaded with weapons at receiver, okay? The Bengals still have A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, John Ross, Auden Tate, which is underrated, Alex Erickson, etc., all right? And now, say what you want about John Ross, but when he was playing last year, he looked elite. He looked very, very good. So if A.J. Green and Ross are healthy, that means it's between Tyler Boyd and Higgins for that third receiver spot. And as much as I like Tee Higgins, I think that Boyd would take that third spot. Right? He's been in the system. He runs his routes. Boyd has really came along. Right? Especially if you had him in fantasy. He balled for us in 2018. So he's really stepped it up in the last 2 years. Now, there is a possibility that A.J. Green gets traded. All right? And then, you got to think about it. John Ross always gets hurt. Right? He's been hurt every year, I think, that he's been in the league. So which would leave Higgins battling out with Tyler Boyd for the number 1 targets, right, if that was to happen. And even if not, as the wide receiver 2 on the depth chart, Higgins would be productive. All right, now, I do think that Ross will be healthy because I think he's going into a contract year, so he's going to have to be. I think he realizes he's going to get his money. He's going to have to stay healthy this season. And I think that the Bengals ain't letting A.J. Green go unless they get something valuable back for him, right? You just don't let an elite receiver walk for nothing. So, which means that leaves Tee Higgins the odd man out. Now, with that being said, Higgins is still being drafted, I think, in the 17th round right now. Yeah, his ADP is in the 17th round. Now, remember, the talent is there. It 100% is there. If Higgins somehow is thrusted into that wide receiver 1 or 2 role, he would instantly be a top 15 receiver. Not 15. He has that kind of ability. Just watch his tape and you'll see it. So if your team is stacked this upcoming fantasy year and you got an extra bench spot to take him in the 17th round, because again, you never know when John Ross or A.J. Green might be getting hurt again. Right, which, again, hurt receivers tend to get hurt. So, again, it's not a bad thing to have him on your bench waiting and ready. So, on the fantasy grading scale for Tee Higgins, being a 1 to 10 scale, a 10 being you have to go draft Higgins right now, I'm going to give Higgins a 4.0. Now, injuries occurred during camp, then that number can drastically change. But as of right now, I have to call it with what's going on right now, what I can see in front of me. And I wouldn't roster Higgins unless you really have an open bench spot that you really don't need. All right. In that case, pick him up, have him as your 5th receiver on your bench. You never know what could happen. So, but again, I got to give him a 4.0. Nothing better than that. Barring injuries, it's going to stay there. All right, guys, so that's it for this episode of Fantasy Football Focus 1. Please hit the subscribe button at the bottom if you're not a member yet. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. And then also shout out some few comments if you want to debate or you got a different opinion on the matter. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.